At my wedding, my sister switched all the gift tags so every box looked like it was hers, then wore a white dress and toasted, "She should have been the bride," my mother whispered. "She was always the prettier one anyway." I spent my wedding night crying in a motel until I sent out a video message that I sit at the edge of the motel bed in Tucson, Arizona. My wedding night's supposed to be a celebration, but it's silent except for the hum of the air conditioning. My husband, Alex, is gone. He's upstairs with his parents, laughing and clinking glasses in the suite I booked. I wrapped my shoulders tight around myself, trying not to let the tears fall. Earlier today, everything should have been perfect. I arrived at the reception hall in Phoenix feeling joyful, white dress, crisp suit, family gathered. My sister Marisol arrived blooming in a strapless ivory gown that looked almost bridal. I didn't say anything, I trusted her. I loved her. But inside I bristled at the tone in her welcome smile. When we unpacked the giant stack of gift boxes someone brought in, I thought, this is it, this is us. But the first box I opened didn't have my name. Neither did the second, the third. My excitement faded. I called out, "Has anyone seen a gift box with Christian and Sophie on it?" My mother glanced at me, then back down, and whispered just loud enough for me to hear, "She was always the prettier one anyway." My father cleared his throat. My husband's mom laughed, his dad smirked. Marisol glided past me, picked up a champagne flute, and gave the entire room a toast. To family, to love, and honestly, I always thought I should have been the bride. Laughter erupted. My cheeks burned. I forced a tight smile. As the event swung on, I realized what Marisol had done. She switched the gift tags before guests arrived. Every name was changed so that gifts meant for me looked like they were for her. When a guest handed me a box, I opened it to find her name printed in the card, and she accepted it graciously. The one gift that did have my name, she grabbed it when I wasn't looking and whispered, "Guess you forgot to put your name again." Everyone giggled. I wanted to disappear. Later, when the dancing started and Alex finally came over to ask if I was okay, I nodded, my fingers gripping tight around my drink. "Fine," I said. Inside I felt numb and hurt. After I checked out from the hall I came here, now I'm sitting in this motel with my wedding dress hung up on a hook behind me. The dress I wore for 8 hours, full of bridal joy, now feels like a costume I never meant to wear. I pull out my phone. I've recorded a message. I decide this ends tonight. I press play. "Hi everyone," I say in the video, voice steady but low. "I'm Christian Reynolds, and to the person who decided to make my wedding gifts into your own, I know exactly what you did. And I want everyone who gave us a present to see this. The tags were switched. The names were swapped. You wore white, you gave the toast, you laughed, but I watched it. And I'm asking you now, why?" I lower the camera, hold back tears, but my voice doesn't break. Please like and subscribe if you've ever had someone try to steal your moment. Comment below where you are watching from. I'll tell you what happens next. I stop the recording and set the phone down. I breathe out, bracing for what comes. The next morning, I woke up to 113 missed notifications. My video, just a shaky 2-minute clip I'd posted to Facebook and TikTok, had exploded overnight. People were tagging others, sharing the clip with captions like "worst sister ever," and "bride sabotaged at her own wedding." I sat up in the stiff motel bed and opened the comments. "Tag switching is wild, hope she gets dragged." "Girl, I would have snatched that mic right back." "Do a follow-up, we need receipts." Receipts? Oh, I had receipts. I started gathering them fast. I called the florist and asked for a copy of the name tags list we'd finalized. I called my friend Stacy, who handled the gift table, and swore she followed my labels exactly. I even had texts from my cousin Diana saying, "Wait, I thought I gave you the blender." Marisol thanked me for it. But the biggest proof came from the hotel security cameras. I drove straight back to the Phoenix Grand Inn, marched into the manager's office and politely, very politely, asked to see the reception room security footage. I'd paid for the suite, I reminded him. I was the bride. He hesitated, but a few minutes later, we watched the grainy feed. There, clear as day, was Marisol opening a small pouch from her purse and pulling out her own sticky name tags. She waited until everyone was distracted with a groomsman's speech, and then one by one she swapped them. She looked proud. No shame, like it was a game. I transferred the footage to a USB drive, went back to my motel room, and uploaded a follow-up video. Here's the proof, I said, keeping my tone even. She knew what she was doing, and no one stopped her. Not my husband, not my mom, not his parents. They let her steal everything. This video hit even harder. By the end of the day, it passed 2 million views. My inbox was full of reporters, wedding bloggers, influencers wanting to collab, but I wasn't ready for any of that, because things were unraveling fast. First, Marisol messaged me, no apology, just, "You're making a fool of yourself. Take it down before this gets worse." Then my mom texted, "What's done is done, you're embarrassing the family." But the one that hurt most, Alex, he called me from the suite I paid for and said, "Do we really have to drag this out on the internet? It was just some labels." Just some labels. He knew what happened and still slept in that suite with the people who humiliated me. That's when I realized he wasn't just complicit, he chose them. That night I didn't cry. I didn't even yell. I pulled out my laptop and did something much more satisfying. I filed a police report for theft. Marisol had taken property that wasn't hers, over $7,000 worth of wedding gifts, according to receipts and itemized lists. Then I filed a civil claim. And then, I did the thing that made everything explode. I sent a copy of the footage and my statement to every person who attended the wedding. Every friend, cousin, and coworker. I labeled it "What Really Happened That Night." And I sent it directly to Alex's job's HR email. By the following afternoon, I had 2 missed calls from Alex, 8 from his mother, and 1 text from Marisol that just said, "You psycho." I ignored all of them. Instead, I focused on what mattered. The responses from wedding guests started coming in fast. Aunt Janice emailed me a screenshot of her $200 Amazon gift receipt. "I gave you and Alex that mixer. She told me you returned it. I'm so sorry, Christian." My coworker Ray wrote, "I saw her open my box. Thought it was weird but didn't want to cause drama. Now I wish I had." And then came the crown jewel. Diana, my cousin who's always been neutral if not aloof, forwarded me a group text from the night of the wedding. It was from Marisol, sent 2 hours before the ceremony. Marisol, "If anyone asks, just say the blender was meant for me. I'll make sure Christian doesn't notice face blowing a kiss," friend of hers. "LOL, you are bad face with tears of joy, but okay," she planned it. I added this to my case file. The officer I spoke to at the precinct had already called to say the theft report was under review, and I might be eligible for a court summons. Apparently, Arizona law does consider gift misappropriation and tag switching a form of civil fraud, especially when it involves valuable property. But the real moment of satisfaction, that came when Alex got fired. He called me in a rage. "Do you even understand what you've done? This is my career." I cut him off. "You let your family humiliate me. You watched them do it. Then you told me it was just some labels." "They were just labels," he shouted. "You don't burn down everything over gift tags." "No, Alex," I said, keeping my voice cold. "You burn it all down when your bride is sobbing in a motel while you party in a suite she paid for. That's when it burns." Click, I blocked his number. But I wasn't finished. Next came my mother. I hadn't spoken to her since the wedding night when she whispered that Marisol was always the prettier one. I finally called her. She answered with a sharp inhale. "Christian, I'm going to say this once," I said. "You're not welcome in my life anymore. You chose your favorite child, and you let her rob me blind on my wedding day. You stood there while she told the entire room that she should have been the bride." "You're being dramatic," I hung up. I posted a new video that night. "Hi everyone, thank you for your support. Some people are asking what I'm going to do now. The truth, I'm going to rebuild, alone and better." The video ended with a shot of the courthouse steps. 3 days later, the wedding registry site flagged Marisol's email for suspicious recipient behavior. She had apparently logged into my account. I'd once used her laptop and altered the shipping addresses for several big-ticket gifts. More than 10 items had gone straight to her apartment. I forwarded this to the police. That's when I got the email. Subject: Wedding Gift Fraud Investigation. Confirmation the investigation was officially active. And yet, through all of this, I kept thinking, why did no one stop her? Why did Alex laugh along? Why did my own mother not flinch? I was about to find out. Because just when I thought the truth was all out in the open, I got a DM from a woman I didn't know. The name, Selena93, echoed in my brain long after I closed the app. I stared at the message. "We were still texting when he proposed to you." At first, I thought it was some random troll trying to stir things up, but something about it felt too specific, too intentional. I replied, "Do you have proof?" Less than a minute later, she sent 5 screenshots. One was a selfie of her and Alex, time-stamped 3 weeks before our engagement party. They were sitting on a couch, our couch. My throw pillow was in the background. Another was a text thread from Alex's number. "Alex, I don't even want to marry her. My mom's pushing it." Selena, "Then why are you doing it?" Alex, "You know why. I need the wedding to keep my promotion. They want to see I'm stable." That one stopped my breath cold. The wedding was a career move for him. He hadn't married me for love. He married me because his job at North Point Media was looking to promote someone to Director of Client Relations, and being married made him look responsible, polished, settled. I had been a prop. I sat down, staring at the screen as more screenshots poured in. Selena sent one last message. "I didn't know about the wedding until I saw your video. I'm sorry. If you want to talk, I'm here." I thanked her. Then I saved every single screenshot and forwarded them to my lawyer. Yep, by now, I had a lawyer. Her name was Camille Rieneur, and she was sharp as hell. She took one look at the messages and said, "You're not just dealing with wedding fraud. This is marital fraud. If you want to file for an annulment and sue for damages, you've got a shot." By the next day, we filed both. I posted one more video, this time titled "The Truth About My Wedding." Why he really married me. I laid it all out, the gifts, the tag switches, the affair, the career motive, the falsified wedding registry addresses. I finished with one sentence. "I married a man who thought I was his ticket to a better job. I hope he enjoys unemployment." The comments exploded. "This is the wildest wedding story I've ever heard. She needs a Netflix special. Girl, you are handling this like a queen. Where's the sister now? Hiding under a rock?" Actually, no, she wasn't hiding. Marisol was thriving on Instagram, posting filtered photos of herself with captions like "No regrets. Some of us were born to shine." She even did a story holding one of the wedding gifts, a designer purse, with the tag still on it. That was all I needed. I took a screenshot, emailed it to the lead investigator handling the case, and within 48 hours, Marisol was served with an official court summons. She was being charged with theft, mail fraud, and impersonation. It finally hit me. They really thought I wouldn't fight back. They thought I'd just crawl away, embarrassed. But they forgot one thing: I don't go down quiet. And just when things started looking up, I got another message. This time from a burner email. No name, no signature. Subject: check the prenup. There's a clause he didn't expect you to find. I froze. We didn't sign a prenup, or so I thought. I stared at it. I knew we hadn't signed a prenup. At least not knowingly. The only thing I'd signed was a thick stack of paperwork at a notary's office 2 weeks before the wedding. Alex told me it was just venue insurance documents and license stuff. But the document in front of me now was definitely a prenup. Camille, my lawyer, had it analyzed. She called me 2 days later, furious. "He tricked you," she said flatly. "This is a concealed prenup disguised in the venue liability paperwork, buried on page 7. He had it formatted to look like a rental clause, but the language is unmistakable. It waives your right to any shared marital property if the marriage ends within a year. So if I divorce him now, you get nothing. No compensation. No alimony, not even the value of the wedding gifts, unless we win the fraud case first." It felt like getting punched in the chest all over again. This wasn't just betrayal. This was premeditated sabotage. He knew he was marrying me under false pretenses. He used the wedding to get a promotion, planned to leave within the year, and make sure I walked away broke and humiliated. I could feel the blood pounding in my ears. I asked Camille one question. "Can we beat him?" She smiled. "Oh, we're not just going to beat him. We're going to make him wish he'd never heard your name." That week, I filed a formal fraud and misrepresentation claim tied directly to the prenup. Camille argued that because I was deceived and the agreement was hidden within unrelated paperwork, the prenup wasn't just unethical, it was invalid. And we had more ammo. Remember the video I posted? A whistleblower from Alex's old job had messaged me. Turned out his boss had seen the viral video before the promotion was finalized and pulled it. Alex hadn't been promoted. He had lied. Not only that, but the HR department conducted a full review and found discrepancies in his expense reports. He had been billing company dinners to his fiancée, using fake receipts under my name. The company pressed charges. It was like watching a tower of lies collapse brick by brick. Alex was now under investigation for internal fraud. Marisol had a court date coming up. And my mother. Her Facebook account went dark after her friends started commenting things like, "This what you meant by she was always the prettier one. How do you support one daughter stealing from the other?" I didn't need revenge anymore. They were destroying themselves, but I wasn't done yet. There was one final thing I needed to do. I hosted a party. Not just any party, a divorce celebration. I rented out a small rooftop bar in Flagstaff, invited only the people who reached out to support me. Friends, coworkers, even Selena came. We toasted with champagne, danced, laughed, and watched the sun set over the desert skyline. And then I made a final toast. To anyone who's ever had their light dimmed by the people who were supposed to love them. You're not crazy, you're not dramatic, you're just stronger than they are. The room roared. I posted a short video from the event. It wasn't angry or sad. Just a clip of me smiling with my real friends, followed by the words, "I didn't get the husband I deserved, but I got my power back." By the end of the month, the court sided with me. The prenup was ruled invalid. I got full reimbursement for all gifts. Marisol had to pay restitution and issue a public apology. And Alex, he left town, jobless, reputation in shambles. I never heard from him again. And that was the real gift.